Was good, everyone? I am super hyped to show off the Skuntank buffs and changes, but quickly, before I get into that, I want to tell everybody who is new here or who has yet to do so to check out the description below and look at the link to the Google Sheets that I use in all my videos, and go to this little tab down here. It says search all moves here, and check out all of the very important, frankly crucial move buffs and changes in this hack. Basically every move is buffed or changed, so if you see a move you don't know, or any move that you do know, it probably does something different. There's like 5 moves I didn't touch, so definitely give those a look while you look through the Pokemon buffs and changes, which of course you can find here as well as a bunch of other handy stuff. But with that out of the way, Skuntank has some awesome buffs here. Most importantly, I'm actually going to start with the abilities, because the stat buffs, while they are very solid, are actually not the star of the show here. It's the abilities, which is the case in a lot of these videos. And also the move pool is a chef's kiss for sure. It's beautiful. But yeah. The best part here is the abilities, which are Instinct and Prankster. Logically, they fit very well, which I'll get into in a second, but in terms of mechanics, what they do, Instinct functions like download, so Skuntank and Stunky will be getting a +1 attack or special attack boost whenever they switch in, which is massive, and that turns their 93 and 90 offenses, which are pretty respectable to begin with, they're pretty strong, become absolutely huge. Really powerful, as long as you predict correctly and send it in at the right time, which is frankly easy to do in game when you have access to trainer sheets. You can just switch it in at the right time, and yeah, with that +1 attack or special attack boost, it just becomes really powerful. So that's one offensive ability. Where your other ability is Prankster, which logically fits very well. They're a poison and dark type skunk that farts and shit, so I mean, I think Prankster is pretty damn fitting there. Not to mention, I did have to keep in mind the overlap with the other Poison Dark types. You got Arbok with the Intimidate and the Sheer Force. You got Viper with the Ruthless and the Strong Jaw and all this other fun stuff. So you gotta definitely, I really have to keep that in mind while I buff other Pokemon of the same typing, because I don't want them to overlap each other or do the same thing. So yeah, that's that for the abilities. And then as for Instinct, it logically fits them as a skunk. They fit. Honestly, this ability fits like any animal Pokemon, to be honest. But especially like, I give it to Quillfish, for example, like the same vibe as like a defensive type of, they're intimidating them to make them look bigger. I don't know. It fits a skunk in my opinion. I don't want to waste too much time on the flavor. I think it fits well enough to not dwell on it any longer. But yeah, super sick here. I really do love it. And the stat buffs, yes, I did do -2 HP purely because I wanted it to be the same HP stat as Barugly, and I didn't want to take any from any other stats because it just looks better this way to me. So yeah, 101, 80, 80 bulk with Prankster and Poison Dark typing is super solid. And then again, those 93, 90 offenses are super great, even without investment. With Instinct, honestly, is with that +1 with that investment, they're still super strong, let alone with investment, let alone with a boosting item. Keep in mind they also have access to priority in the form of Sucker Punch, Sludge Shot, and Night Burst, and also technically First Impression. And then they have switch moves in Parting Shot and U-Turn. So what you can do in this ROM hack is you do have access to infinite usability capsules and infinite EV training. So what you can easily do is switch around your EV spread. One boss fight, max speed, max special attack, Instinct. Next boss fight, max HP, max defense, Prankster. Next boss fight, switch it over to special defense. Next boss fight, max attack, max speed, Prankster. Next boss fight, Instinct, excuse me. You can really just customize your sets for every fight, and that's super fun and super rewarding. So, and that goes for every Pokemon and every buff and change in this hack. But when you have 2 great abilities like this, which again, every Pokemon does, these 2 abilities specifically have a really fun dichotomy where you're using one in one situation, the other one in the other situation, and they're both equally incredible. So yeah, you got that Parting Shot, which is huge with Prankster or with Instinct, frankly, because you can switch it in, get a kill or something, or pick something off, and you Parting Shot out on the next Pokemon that comes in. Say, for example, it's strong against you, and that's great. And that works great with Prankster as well. Even better with Prankster even. And then you have a really cool signature move, which is called Noxious Gas, which Skuntank and Weezing have access to, and that's essentially Venom Drench and Toxic, or rather Poison Gas, in one move. So it poisons them as well as drops their attack, speed, and special attack by 2. And the Z effect gives you an Omni Boost, which is relatively common in this hack, because Omni Boosts are they're very strong, don't get me wrong, but with no move learner, it can be a little bit of a liability to keep those moves. But in this case, it's not, because Noxious Gas is a great support move in general. I mean, that's huge. That's Charm, Befriend. There's no move that only lowers speed, but you get the idea. Okay, it's like it drops all 3 of those stats and poisons them all in one move. And with Prankster, that's awesome, because you can just completely shut down a lot of threats and just really go to town. It's a great utility Pokemon. Super fun. That typing is incredible. That bulk is huge, with the abilities and stuff considered. You also have reliable recovery with slack off with Prankster, so that's pretty cool too. Again, you have setup with nasty paws, swords, instant bulk up, which pairs nicely with instinct or with Prankster. Frankly, that's the beautiful thing. You have so much customizability with these abilities. It's so fun. This will be such a blast to use. Yeah, just some really awesome coverage as well. They always had like fire moves and stuff, but you know, give them a little bit more coverage, and they got the fangs and all this. You know, these moves are all buffed and are stronger now, so they're not like shitty moves anymore. There's a bunch of other really fun stuff I could cover, which honestly I might, but yeah, Prankster stuff, like, you know, you got that slack off, you got that noxious gas. Earlier in the game, you have a lot of great stuff too, with, you know, you could even set up like the Sunny Day or Rain Dance and parting shot out into your Rain Abuser or Sun Abuser. You got, you know, priority poison gas, you've got Leer, which is better now, you've got Scary Face and Confide, which are much better now. Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. Priority Haze as well. You know, it's really just got everything it would ever want. It's so fun. Powerful stab moves as well late game, and just in general, with, you know, all kinds of powerful stab. I'm not going to list off every one, but you hopefully will be able to see that from the description below if you do check out the move sheet. It is more of a mixed attacker just based on its appearance and the fact that it is already able to like spray acid and sludge and fire and all this shit, so I figured making them mixed attackers is even more fun. And that 91 base speed is pretty damn respectable. Obviously it's nothing too great, but they do have priority, and you can just slap on a choice scarf with instinct and go to town with that, because the speed tiers in the game, while they are much higher as a base, scarfers are not very common in game, purely because the AI does not know how to abuse choice items without switching out, so it's not good. But yeah, you're super quick with a scarf, or just in general, you're a good speed tier. You're outspeeding all the base 90s and everything, which is a relatively crowded speed tier. So yeah, it's just a blast. I honestly feel like I covered everything pretty quickly, but since I have probably a little bit of time left, I can just touch on some other really fun stuff. Again, those stats are great, just super tanky. I'm sounding like a broken record, but yeah, just great utility of Prankster. You switch it in, you get that stat dropping move off, you get that status off. Also, Prankster Will-O-Wisp, I didn't even mention that yet. Will-O-Wisp was a little bit of a weird choice, but they did have fire moves before. They are a dark type, and they do have Prankster, so I figured, you know what, give it to them. It's not that weird. I think it fits pretty well, actually. Yeah, just an absolute blast of a Pokemon to use. You got a bunch of other cool moves with Instinct, like Scum Shot and U-Turn, and choice sets would be really fun with Instinct as well. Just all kinds of fun things it can do. You know, Toxic Spikes, and it's just got everything it would ever want. It's fun. So yeah, absolutely great offensive and support Pokemon here. Really, really fun buffs for Skuntank. Both Skuntank and Perugly were pretty garbage, so I'm happy to give them, you know, some much needed power and utility. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed this type of video. If you did, definitely make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to get down to 2 subs soon at the time of posting this, so hopefully you can help me get there. And yeah, I appreciate you for the time, and I'll be back for more Sinnoh coming up.